So I've had this HP port replicator laying around here for some time. I had several of these with the laptop that came with it, and I went ahead and got rid of the laptops. I sold them, and some of them I included this replicator with it. And this is the last item from that batch of computers that I have left. And I thought it would be kind of cool to see what's inside of it and do a little teardown, since it's not really worth much money. So I don't, and without the laptop, it's pretty much useless. So I thought, in the name of science, I would tear it apart and see what's inside. I'm expecting that there's not going to be much in there, except maybe a PCB that splits out all the signals in this connector out to the back. But this is a very full-featured replicator. I'll show you in a bit what I mean. But I thought it would be cool to tear it down to see if there's actually any circuitry in there. So let me start here. This is a push button power, so you can actually turn on the power on and off for the laptop. Actually, let me step back a little bit. So if you don't know what a port replicator is, a lot of business laptops, they have these ports on the bottom of the laptop, and in some cases in the back. And what you do is, let's say you have a station at work and a station at home. You could have a replicator like this sitting on your desk, and then you can connect all your peripherals like your larger LCD monitors, your network connection, USB mouse and keyboard, or PS2 mouse and keyboard here, your loudspeakers here, and even TV out on your desk, so that when you get home from work, for example, you can just plop your laptop on here and then use the bigger screen and the full-size keyboard and everything. So your laptop becomes a desktop PC at that point. So that's what replicators are used for, and they're really good for business computers because you can transform your business computer into a desktop at work and a desktop at home. So that's kind of cool. And I kind of spoiled how many ports this has, but if you can see here, this has a lot of stuff. From on the left here, you can see that. Well, we'll start here with this right here. This is let me actually zoom in. All right. So this is a little bit clearer for you. Right here we have a lock, so you can actually lock this down to your desk. Then you have S-video output. You have composite video output. These are interesting to have in a replicator. This looks like some kind of additional VGA output, even though there's one here. This also looks like it has some kind of screen output. Maybe this is like some kind of proprietary plug that HP shipped with this. I don't know. And then you have line in, line out, or speaker out. You have PS2 keyboard and mouse, so you can plug that in. This is for an older laptop, so it makes sense to have these PS2 keyboard and mouse. I think this is a early 2000s laptop, I believe. Then we have a serial port, a parallel port, a VGA port, and a DVI-D port. So technically you could probably break this out to HDMI using one of these adapters like this, where you can plug that one in, and then you have HDMI out like that. Okay, sorry. Then you have power, so you could actually have this charge your laptop. You have a modem. You have Ethernet and 2 USB. You also have 2 USB on the side over here, underneath the power button. On the other side, you have what looks to be like some kind of lock cover. I don't know what's under there. And then you have this eject button. And if you can see here, this eject button probably has some kind of angled thing that underneath there, because this is thin over here and then thicker over here. So when you press this, it pushes, it unlocks the laptop. Let me see if I can get a good angle for here. You see there. Wait, where's the... So you have, it moves this back so that the laptop gets unlocked, and then it pushes the laptop up so that it lifts off. These right here are spring loaded. I guess these hold tension. So when you put the laptop in, these hold the laptop down, and then these have tension springs that push the laptop up and holds it in place. Now this connector down here, let me zoom in so you can see what that looks like. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff going on here. There's this is probably power, either going from here to the I'm assuming this is coming from here into the laptop, probably, or maybe over here on this side. They have power distribution split out, and then maybe the laptop goes back in to here, because if you don't have the AC adapter plugged in, you need to power up this thing with power from the laptop. So I'm assuming this is going into the laptop and this is coming from the laptop into this device. Then you have all of these data lines, all of these ports and everything. So it's quite possible that this is just a pass-through and there's no circuitry in here to support any of these ports, and that all the circuitry to support all those ports is inside of the laptop, and then they just get exposed through these through this connector here. Okay, so let me zoom out again. All right, so like I said, what I want to do is, I'm curious. I want to open this up and see what's inside, and it looks like it's going to be fairly simple. I'm going to start by taking off these 3 screws right here. Sorry, let me flip this around so you can have a better view. As I have 1, 2, 3 screws there, and then at the bottom I have these 3 that I think they just hold some kind of this part here, and then all these screws down here, 1, 2, whatever. It's like 20 of them or something. I don't know what this is for. I'm assuming that you could probably mount the laptop on the wall. That'd be kind of cool. So I can see that being interesting. Like if you can put some screws on a wall and mount the laptop like this. That's cool. Like maybe like a headless unit. Didn't know you could do that. And yeah, this is model PA286A. So yeah, it's an HP product, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take these screws off, and then we'll see how it comes apart. One moment. Alright, so I went ahead and removed all the screws, and as you can see here, this little piece came off. It's the little protective foot here came off, and I'm not sure what's supposed to go in there. Oh, maybe it's it's another type of lock. That's what that is. It's this come off? Yeah, it's a little cover that comes off, and then you can put maybe a more secure locking mechanism in there. Not sure what that is. Okay, well, let's see if I can take this apart. Let me see how this comes off. Just gonna try to lift off. Okay, so it just lifts off. Okay, does look like it has some electronics. Let me see. I'm gonna unplug this cable down here. Okay, that's unplugged, and then this comes off over here. Alright, that came off, and now we have the two parts. So let's start with the top. This is the mechanism. Looks like it's kind of self-contained there, so let's see what's going on there. Okay, so I push on that. That's actually a lot more than I expected there to be down here, to be honest. I didn't expect all this metal and magnesium. Look at how many different parts there are here. Bunch of little, that's a lot. This is like it's not a simple mechanism. I thought this was going to be a lot simpler, but there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I press this. Look at that, there's a spring there. There's little grease there. There are more springs down here. More springs down there, and then all these screw holders, like and then you have the power button, which has 4 wires. Oh, because 2 are for an LED. There's an LED here. Okay, so 2 are for an LED indicator, and the other ones are for the actual power button. Okay, that makes sense. And then you have these standoffs. Okay, there's another little PCB here. What is that for? Oh, it's another LED. Oh, where's the cable? Where's the power for that? Oh, that's the little cable that I unplugged there for the LED indicator. Okay, well, this is a lot more than I expected for this mechanism, but I like that it's self-contained and that it doesn't come apart when you disconnect both halves. So that's cool. Let me put this aside. Now let's take a look at the board. So we have this PCB, and then we have this. What is this? This is. All right. So we have. We have this tape. Let me take this tape off so we have a better visibility here. I'm not sure what this does other than maybe protect the circuitry there. All right, so let's take a closer look here. All right, so we have on this side over here, what do we have? We have this chip here. Sorry for the shaking. This chip, what does this chip do? It's a CY7C65. I'll look it up and see what it does. It's probably something to do with this, with the network or the USB ports here. Let me see. Where do the wires go to? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll look it up and put it on the screen there if I find it. Then we have some voltage power regulation. Then we have this other chip there. I'll look it up to see what it does and put it on the screen. Looks like it's probably a lot of power regulation stuff. And then you have this Max 3243. So Max tends to do like serial ports and things like that. So that's probably a UART of sorts. And for the most part, it looks like this connector does go straight to the back, and that most of the circuitry is on this little board. Sorry, it's inside the laptop, and this is just a pass-through, which makes sense because this. Why would you? The laptop should have the chipset set up to run all of these ports. All right, so let me zoom out again and take a look at the PCB. I'm gonna take apart the PCB here and see just a couple of screws here. I'm gonna take this one off. Actually, I don't need to take it apart. If I look down here, there's absolutely nothing. So everything is on the top. The bottom of the PCB has nothing. So that's it. This is all that there is to it. It looks like all of it, if not most of it, if not all of the signals end up coming from the laptop. And there, other than this UART here and this other chip over here, there's nothing else in here except some power regulation circuitry, and that's about it. Yeah, so interesting. And this is what is this? This is this video cable of sorts here. What does it say? Does it say in the PCB something? Let me see. No, it just calls it C. It's just a connector on the board. Yep, I don't know. It looks like even all these video output come from the video card on the motherboard of the laptop. So interesting. You know, that's nice. The laptop was very, very full featured. So yeah, I hope you found this interesting. I don't know. It's one of those things that I was just curious to see what was inside. I mean, I've dealt with a lot of these port replicators before, and part of me always thought it's just like a pass-through like this. But this one just caught my eye because it had so many ports that I figured maybe there is some circuitry on this thing that actually handles that you know, maybe this is like a PCI bus, and then the circuitry for these things like the chipset to handle the parallel port, the DVI video, all this stuff would actually be handled by circuitry on here. But nope, it looks like the laptop does everything, and this is just what it is, a port replicator. Ports are coming here, and then they get broken out into what they are. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and if you found this interesting. Hopefully that way you don't have to tear apart yours. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.